Othello was written in the early 17th century and was one of a number of tragedies written by Shakespeare at this time, which is known as his third period. These plays, which include works such as Hamlet and Macbeth, differ wildly from earlier comedies like A Midsummer Night's Dream. There are many potential reasons for this stylistic change, including the idea that this darker period of writing was influenced by the death of his son Hamlet in 1596. The story of Othello is an embellished version of a story by an Italian writer called Cinthio, who lived from 1504 to 1573. In Cinthio's story, a general is also tricked by his ensign into believing his wife is unfaithful. This story appears in a collection of works called the Hecatomythi. It is likely that Shakespeare read this and added to it various supporting characters as well as a more dramatic historical setting, the Ottoman Venetian War. The Ottoman Venetian War took place from 1570 to 1573. The conflict between the Ottomans and the Republic of Venice arose over the ownership of Cyprus. Cyprus had been a Venetian colony since 1489. However, with its ideal position in the eastern Mediterranean, which allowed for control over trade routes in that area, and a supply of valuable goods such as cotton and sugar, it became an obvious target for the Ottoman Empire. Threats made by the Ottomans in 1570 led to Venice sending reinforcements to Cyprus, but by 1573 it was clear that Venice would be unable to retain control over the island. The Venetians ceded Cyprus over to the Ottoman Empire and trading between the two resumed. The action of the play is divided between these two settings, beginning in Venice but moving to Cyprus when Othello is posted there. One thing that would have marked Othello out when it was first written and performed was Shakespeare's choice of a Moorish hero. During the 17th century, Moors were often associated with the devil, evil, and had many other negative connotations, which is shown during one of Shakespeare's earlier plays, Titus Andronicus, which features a Moorish villain. Although there were trade links with foreign countries such as Morocco during the reign of Elizabeth I, attitudes towards foreigners were not entirely positive, with the Queen even responsible for a decree that attempted to exile foreigners from England. It is probable, therefore, that Elizabethan audiences were not too receptive of outsiders during this time, and this is reflected in one of Shakespeare's plays, The Merchant of Venice, in which the character Shylock is ridiculed and demonized for being Jewish. Gender also plays an important part in Othello. During the 17th century, women were seen as subservient to men. Despite the fact that there was a woman on the throne, it was men that possessed the power in Elizabethan society. Women were not allowed to vote, act, or be independent of their male counterparts. Women in general were controlled by their fathers, husbands, or sons. As a result of all of this, it was important that a wife was seen to obey her husband. Therefore, the notion that Desdemona was unfaithful to him would have been a humiliating prospect for Othello. Although ultimately in the play the women do not manage to overthrow male dominance, Shakespeare does challenge it at the beginning when Desdemona defies her father and chooses her own husband. In conclusion, the story contains a number of different themes, and each one is influenced in a different way by the attitudes and events of Shakespeare's time.